Hi, Rich.
Hi, Mike.
Live long and prosper.
Oh, I didn't realize we were supposed to dress up for Halloween.
I'm not dressed up. Jay, what's going on?
Well, in addition to us shooting this episode around Halloween time, today is also Rich Evans' birthday. And recently, Mike discovered this old photo from Rich's birthday. And so we, as a present, we have painstakingly recreated this lovely shirt that he's wearing. And we're going to give it to him as a birthday/Halloween episode gift.
Well, Rich, we figured you might not wear a Halloween costume today, so we got one for you. And you just might recognize it.
Okay.
Do you remember it? From a very special day when you were 5 or 3 or something?
What the fuck? Why do you have this? Why do you have that?
Happy birthday, Dick the birthday boy.
Did you, like, steal my old family photographs? Is there, like, an album of mine in your possession? This is creepy.
I'll be on the bridge.
Is he obsessed with me?
Well, Dink, let's watch some movies today. We have actually 3 exciting films, 2 of which are from directors that we are fans of, Mr. Lenka Basinski and Don Dohler.
Ooh.
But the third one, I have no idea who the hell made it. But we're going to find out.
Okay.
So, Rich, let's get the movies.
All right.
They're right there, I think.
Oh.
Why are they... Just hit... Oh,
I got him.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, shit.
Rich, all we need to do is look at the films. This is completely illogical.
So, first up, we have Night Beast. Nothing can save you now. And the least exciting font I can imagine.
Oh, this looks great. He doesn't just show up.
Where's the spaceman?
Oh, that's so cute.
What the hell was that?
That's a good question. Oh, yeah, booze.
An alien spacecraft out of control. An eerie, laser-wielding, multi-toothed alien crash lands his spaceship near Perry Hill, a small town where the creature begins its 24-hour onslaught.
Yes! And arm fall off.
That's awesome.
Arm fall off.
Wait, the hospital is a house?
The hospital is someone's house.
That's going too. It's a hospital.
A hospital.
So I guess George Stover's doing Aliens again, which I'm excited about.
Don Dohler.
Don Dohler?
Yeah, Don Dohler has apparently a really broad imagination.
Okay.
His films include Aliens Crashing on Earth and Aliens Crashing on Earth.
The mask looks better.
Yeah?
Yeah. But the acting doesn't.
Stay out of my way, Draco. I'm in no mood for your crap.
The alien here kind of looks like Howard the Duck. Don't you think so?
Yes.
If Howard the Duck was trapped in a house fire?
If Howard the Duck became a werewolf, Howard the Duck, that's how he would look.
I'm sorry to interrupt this lovely party, but I'm afraid we're going to have to ask everyone to leave. We've just discovered that poison gas is leaking from the old mines, and for your own safety, we're evacuating the town.
Run! Poison gas!
What's up next, Mike?
Oh, our next film is called Trick or Treat, starring Gene Simmons and Ozzy Osbourne, 2 men most known for their acting.
Do you plan for those tables?
He planned that.
So many tables! Not cool, guys. I was moving that table.
Whoa!
Oh my God!
We've of course seen Gene Simmons recently in the film Never Too Young to Die. Where he played a transvestite supervillain?
Yes.
Who turned into a dummy after he fell off a dam. A deadly obsession turns into a spine-tingling horror. Eddie Weinborough is a typical all-American teenager. At least he was until he fell under the evil spell of rock music.
Okay.
Now he's obsessed with his heavy metal superstar idol, Sammy Kerr, which I assume is either Gene Simmons or Ozzy Osbourne, who is killed in a hotel fire. Eddie becomes the recipient of the only copy of Kerr's unreleased album, which, when played backwards, sends a message of destruction. And as Halloween approaches, Eddie begins to realize this isn't only rock and roll, it's life or death, and he must draw the line to thwart this mission.
Sickness, it's just absolutely sick and bizarre, and I'm going to do my utmost best to try and stop it now.
Anything you'd like to say in conclusion?
These evil people have just got to be stopped.
That was great.
That was wonderful.
Did that happen live?
Like the guy in the studio?
Yeah,
What is this?
yeah.
I'm actually not sure what to think of it, because if you look at the back of the box here, this looks like a publicity photo of Gene Simmons.
Yeah.
This is obviously a production photo.
Yeah.
This person's holding a spray bottle and applying makeup. Probably a production photo.
Yeah.
Also a production photo. So, this could be on horrible VHS. We don't know. We will find out. I'm so excited.
Yeah! Yeah!
All right.
Yeah!
He's gonna grab it.
Yes! They said I couldn't play here, but then I died.
So, Rich, what's our third film today?
I can't wait for the third film. Our third film is the long-anticipated viewing of Skull Forest. I don't know what you were looking at, but...
Well, just you know,
Skull Forest!
I'm illegally parked, so I keep looking out the window.
Oh! Okay.
Well, why don't you tell us a little bit about the director, real quick?
Lenka Basinski he's a visionary genius of schlock movies. He's a personal inspiration and hero of mine. Yeah. And he's a martial arts master. And he makes horror movies with his friends.
And we watched them.
And we watch them, and we love them.
There he is! Yay!
Happy birthday, Len!
The master of cinema.
4 women in the woods alone. Unprepared, unsuspecting, and hunted. A girl's camping weekend for 4 friends quickly turns to a terror hell ride like no other when they encounter a stranger in the woods and are in turn forced to fight for their lives against the rich and privileged who hunt humans for sport. Oh my God, that's one long sentence.
No punctuation.
There's
I'm not surprised.
no punctuation at all. There is a period at the end, but the whole paragraph is that one sentence. Starring Playboy centerfold Lisa Neeld? Neeld? I don't.
That's an unfortunate name for someone in the adult entertainment industry.
Yeah. Star of CW Network show / Lisa Need. Star of CW Network's. Star of CW Network show / Lisa Neild's VIP. Okay, I'm going to read the second sentence of the back of the box now.
Yeah, this is taking so long, it's time for my fanfare.
I'd say that was roughly time. You been here before? No. I was just saying. None of us have been here, right?
Oh my God. Maybe if a plane goes by, you should do a second take. How about you get some wides?
In a hurry, Carrie?
Oh my God, I feel claustrophobic.
and dizzy. You're in the woods and you feel claustrophobic.
And dizzy. Oh.
His films are just terrible. They are just terrible. Yeah, they are amazing, and I cannot wait to watch this. We've been waiting almost a year for this to come out on DVD. So I hope it doesn't disappoint.
We'll
or
see.
rather, I hope it does.
I said stay back! Yeah.
There's the line.
Yeah.
You know what, love.
Just a bunch of guys in goofy costumes out camping.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, where's Mike?
Oh, yeah, that's weird.
Oh. Well, that was clever and inventive and unique.
Yeah.
I beamed in because of Star Trek.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
I also brought along my phaser weapon.
You know, that's just a plastic toy, right?
And it's from Next Gen.
What? What does that mean? Spock has a phaser because of Star Trek.
Dork.
That's the wrong phaser.
Shit.
You done?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, that kind of reminds me of a movie we just watched.
You mean because it failed completely?
Would you be referring to Night Beast by Don Dohler?
Yeah, we watched a couple movies this week, and the first one was Night Beast, directed by Don Dohler, who's responsible for one of our favorites, bad movies, Galaxy Invader. This movie, though, was a horrible, horrible disappointment.
Yes.
Yeah.
You wouldn't know, though, by the first 10 minutes, because the first 10 minutes had one of the most epic laser gun battles I think I've ever seen in sci-fi history.
Yeah, it's better production values than Galaxy Invader. As far as the costume has some articulation, there's miniature spaceships. I guess we should say it's the exact same story as Galaxy Invader. All Don Dohler movies have the same story, which is an alien comes to Earth and wanders around in the woods, and some rednecks shoot at him, and then the movie ends.
It's almost like Don Dohler is trying to get his idea right.
Yeah.
That's what this movie felt like to me. Like, Galaxy Invader is great, mainly because of its incompetence. It gives its charm.
Well,
you know?
Another part of the charm is the characters. It has this bizarre, like, family dynamic with this alcoholic dad who only has one shirt and it's got a big rip in it, and his daughter who's constantly talking about how much she hates him, and all these things. And there's no characters like that in Night Beast.
All the locations take place at Don Dohler's house, which is the farmhouse from Galaxy Invader.
Yeah.
And then I think they filmed it on the backside of the house where they had like sunroom or something, and it was white. So they decided that would be their hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause it's white.
The interiors are someone's bedroom or spare bedroom, and then the exteriors, it just looks like a house. And they said, I guess that's good enough.
Yeah, Alien flies his spaceship through our solar system very quickly, and then runs into a meteorite at the last minute.
And crashes on Earth.
accident, yeah, and crashes into the woods, again, by rednecks, and then gets out of the woods and just starts trying to murder people.
Mm-hmm. Well, I would be really pissed if my spaceship just got hit by an asteroid, and I mean, you can only imagine he's thinking about insurance premiums going up, you know, how he's gonna fix this, how he's gonna get a tow home. Like, I would be in a bad mood, and then rednecks show up.
You gotta rip their guts out.
Gotta rip their guts out.
Well, you know, the spaceship though, it's intact though after it hits the asteroid, but once it hits the dirt in the woods, it just blows up.
Well, he was transporting alien fireworks from one location to another. So it was an unfortunate series of accidents.
What?
Bobby.
It was just a terrible film.
Yeah.
It was a tedious film.
Tedious.
That's the problem, except for the most erotic love scene that's ever been captured on film.
The most erotic 2 pieces of wet turkey slapping against each other that I could ever imagine.
So awkward.
They might actually not. Oh, there they are in the same room. I was going to say they might not be in the same room.
Well, what was weird is there was no chemistry between these 2 characters. This is Jerry Curl Cop and...
It's more like Perm Cop.
Okay, so you have Perm Cop and you have Woman.
Middle-aged woman.
Yeah, middle-aged woman. And they go into her bedroom and she strips completely naked in front of him and says...
Unprompted, by the way.
Just naked. They don't have a relationship or
and
anything.
it's not like there was like a romantic subplot. It
No.
just completely came out of nowhere.
She got turned on because she had to fix his wound that was right by his crotch.
Oh yeah, she
So
said
had
that's
to
a
take-
nasty gash.
She had to take his pants off. Yeah, she said that's a nasty gash.
A nasty gash you have there.
Then when they were about to have sex, he said that's a nasty gash.
Well, that's after she took a shower, though. She undresses in front of him first.
Yeah.
And he doesn't think there's anything weird about this.
He's not gonna let that joke
he
just
doesn't
sit.
flinch.
Although it could be that he was just a terrible actor. Whatever.
I missed something, apparently.
But as Rich eloquently pointed out during the screening, he would have much have rather seen a nude scene with the Mary Jane character.
There's a woman I'd actually want to
Yeah, why is she in the naked scene? Why did they put grandma?
Well, the big problem with Night Beast is that the Night Beast isn't in it a whole lot.
No, and has
There's-
nothing to do with the film.
There's a whole Jaws subplot with the mayor, and he's planning this big party, and the cops are saying, you gotta evacuate the town, we can't have this party. And he's saying, well, we have to have the party, because
The governor was coming.
the governor was coming or whatever. So they have this big pool party, and you're like, oh great, Night Beast is gonna show up and awkwardly swing at people at this pool party. And then he doesn't show up.
Well, as I mentioned during the screening, and what happened in Galaxy Invader was, I think Don Dohler might be a secret artist of some kind, because his films aren't just monster movies. They're movies about the human condition. And really, in Galaxy Invader, the Galaxy Invader shows up, he crash lands, he loses his space egg, and the space gun, which operates via the space egg, and which has to be carried around in a wheelbarrow for some reason.
Yeah.
But the movie's really about the spousal abuse and alcoholism. And in this film, the same themes are repeated.
Would you call them themes, or would you call them filler for scenes that happen in between the monster attack sequences?
That's the big question. And we can't ask Don because he's dead.
He's unfortunately passed on.
I think you're really full of shit.
Remember when there was a Night Beast in this movie?
Yeah, now it's just abuse.
It's going to Afternoon Beast now.
No, it's again metaphorical. Drago is the Night Beast.
Ultimately, Night Beast is a boring version of Galaxy Invader.
Yeah.
That's
With
all
a
it really is.
kick-ass laser fight.
That's true.
The laser effects
laser
were
fights are
great.
good.
Yeah, and they had the laser gun vaporized cars. It was like classic Star Trek. You know, hit something and it gets brighter and then...
Except for trees and walls that people are using for cover.
The little expression. It was like unrelated.
So at the end of the movie, they electrocute the Moon Beast.
And it ends.
And then it ends.
And Blue Shirt Guy.
Which is a running theme tonight, where the movies just sort of end.
Yeah, all
and
three
you're
films.
like, I guess the movie's over.
Yep.
What?
Really?
That was all his fireworks.
Wow.
So now we're going to talk about Trick or Treat. It's a movie that kind of has Ozzy Osbourne in it.
Nice.
There's a similarity between this and the opening of Night Beast.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I thought it was going to be The Evil Dead with 80s metal music. I thought he was going to play the record backwards and that was going to summon zombies. Okay. That's what my thought was, and it seemed cheesy enough where it would be perfect for this. As it turns out, it was just kind of a fun movie.
Yeah, it was frustrating because it was almost a really, really great B-movie, Halloween time movie.
But the first half of that movie, it's kind of like you're thinking, why don't people know about this?
Yeah.
This is really good. But
Then you find out why people don't know about
Then you find out why people don't know about
The second half loses all of its steam.
But it's about a heavy metal rocker kid in high school, and he gets teased on by the bullies, and nobody likes him. And
Played by Skippy from Family Ties.
Yes, played by Skippy from Family Ties, and he takes solace in his rock and roll hero, who's kind of a heavy metal star who used to go to that high school, and he became a big famous heavy metal star, but he died in a fire. So Skippy's very sad about that when his radio friend Gene Simmons gives him the last record that his hero ever made. What was his name? Something
Sammy Kerr.
Sammy Kerr.
And it's the only existing copy of this final record.
Yes. And when Skippy takes this last record home and he plays it backwards, Sammy Kerr starts talking to him.
Yeah.
Specifically.
Mm-hmm.
Ragman.
Ragman.
Oh my God, he's laughing.
The spirit is in there. It's in the record.
If you're going to step back and look at this film, which is ironic because it shares similarities with Never Too Young to Die, which also had Gene Simmons in it. But to me, when you look at it, it feels like that movie. Never Too Young to Die was a movie where everyone said, let's put this in there, let's put this in there, let's put that in there, and it'll be a surefire hit. This really felt, I think you mentioned Nightmare on Elm Street.
There's some Nightmare on Elm Street, there's some, you had mentioned Stephen King, there's like sort of Stephen King elements to it.
The attempt to make the Freddy Krueger of rock and roll in the 80s was really kind of present there.
Mm-hmm. That's why I disagree with you a lot. I think this movie fails only in editing. I think you could take the footage available, trim maybe 10, 12 minutes, and have a really killer B-80s movie.
There's a lot of moments where it's just dry and dull and like, what's happening?
It loses your interest because there are moments that are really great. There's a lot of fun moments in this movie, especially and kind of creepy too. Like when he's playing the record back and then it starts going in reverse on its own and it's talking to him, and that stuff works really well. But then there's a certain point where oh, this is interesting, this is fun, and then nothing really happens for a while, and you sort of get bored.
And then he yanks somebody out of a TV screen.
It's a sad day for all of us.
Oh, she got...
That's so
Actually, we should mention with the old lady getting pulled out of the TV, the best part of that is that it shows the aftermath of it with the poor geek having to vacuum up all this ash.
Mom, stand here. Look how that failed comedy just completely killed all of our laughter.
God.
Oh yeah.
The premise is there, right? Okay, Sammy Kerr does a seance in his hotel with fire and burns it down, and he's evil, and he wants to come back to life. And then when he gets that record, it's like, here's the record, right? He runs it backwards, and the demon starts speaking to him and says, like, you can get revenge on your bullies by doing this. And you're like, wow, this is great. Yeah. But then I think it fails not in just the editing, but also the premise / execution, because you're like, okay, then what? Then it's like, okay, he puts it on a tape, and then he makes another tape.
It gets
and then
sort of
that other
convoluted
tape goes
there,
here, and then Sammy Kerr shows up in physical form to play the show. Is he there to play it? And then he wants to kill the kid, and it's just like, then it's just off the rails, and no one knows whose motivation is where, what's happening.
You almost have to have Skippy start to become corrupted over time.
That too.
Like Sammy Kerr starts slowly possessing him.
That's kind of what I thought was going to happen.
Yeah, and that would have been more interesting.
Well, if Sammy Kerr had to kill the kid who first turned on his record, or destroy, or find the last copy and break it, and then he could live in the real world forever, or there's some sort of motivation, but there really wasn't.
No, he's just a rock guy, and then he comes back. He
Sort
doesn't
of
have that
comes
interesting backstory.
Well, yeah, no, they talk about him like broadcasting himself through the radio station, and
to what end though?
But he doesn't want anything. There's no motivation.
he wanted revenge for the kid, right? And he ran with that, and he's a demonic guy. I don't think we need anything more.
We need it to be shorter, if that's
We
all
need
there
it to be
is.
shorter.
There's one point where our Skippy, our hero, he's grounded. He thinks all is well in the world of demonic rock gods coming back to life, and he lays on his parents' couch with the newspaper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the climax of our film. And his friend is supposed to destroy a cassette tape with a demon on it, and a girl who he sort of knows had her ears melted off and was raped by like a giant salamander in the previous scene. And he's okay, fine, I'm gonna lay on the couch and read, the stock section of the New York Times.
I think it was the funnies,
Okay,
yeah.
it was the funnies. But I'm like, okay, and then, you didn't destroy the tape? Oh, the rock god is alive and shooting laser beams out of his guitar and evaporating people? I guess I'll run down to the school now.
Yeah.
And it's like that zoo, zoo, zoo.
Yeah.
Where it's like, it's a terrible movie.
No. Entertaining movie.
It's a terrible second half, and it's a great first half. It
The
builds
first
up,
half's great, yeah.
It builds up to the cliff, and then it falls off.
Throw the toilet at him.
Why does he have electric powers?
Because he comes through currents.
Because music. Now, the thing that appeared was the giant, salamander character.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who I wish appeared more.
What if that was an unrelated alien entity that had embedded itself on the because it's completely unrelated to a 80s hair metal rock god.
There were no other monsters.
Yeah.
That's true, yeah.
I think the movie itself is haunted.
Oh.
It is. How else do you explain the Showbiz Pizza Bear?
Oh my God, we haven't talked about the Showbiz Pizza Bear.
That is the most important element of this, yes.
Yeah, explain, Rich.
So after Mike saved my precious heirloom,
Yeah.
and it had a picture of me with this birthday boy shirt and the Showbiz Pizza next to the Showbiz Pizza Bear.
Yeah.
Here, 30 years to the day later, not only am I wearing the same shirt, but we're watching this movie, and there he is.
Yes, being carried out on a stretcher.
Showbiz Pizza Bear, dead.
Ah, what the fuck?
Oh my God!
It's a Halloween miracle.
Oh my God!
The Showbiz Pizza Bear dead.
There is some context in that it's a Halloween party, and this could potentially be someone's Halloween costume, but nobody in the history of humanity has ever dressed up as the Showbiz Pizza Bear for Halloween.
It's possible that someone on the cast or crew had access to the Showbiz Pizza Bear costume.
I think the tape is haunted, and something horrible is going to happen to me by the time the night is over.
Do you think if we rewatch that movie, that bear will not be there?
Yes.
You've been reunited after all these years.
Dick's the birthday boy.
I can't believe that.
So yeah, there's going to be a green mist floating down your pants tonight, Rich Evans.
So the last movie we watched tonight was Skull Forest, which I know was highly anticipated by all of us. But Jack, why were we so looking forward to seeing Skull Forest?
Lenka Basinski, the creator of Skull Forest.
Visionary.
Director, producer, writer.
Yes.
He actually might have a greater place in our history than we might know. Before we started doing the show, we would just get together and watch movies.
Bad movies.
Bad movies, sure, but just get together and watch bad movies and laugh. One of the very first movies that we watched as a group, just for fun, was Curse of the Wolf. It's the Curse of the Wolf!
Yeah, that was our introduction to Lenka Basinski. and we kind of grew fascinated with him, right?
Yeah, Curse of the Wolf was discovered on one of those 4 movie horror packs, and I think I was just going through them like one after the other, and then Curse of the Wolf came on, and it's like, hey, come look at this.
We all gathered in the
We all
one room
gathered
when
in
we were
the
screening
room,
tape.
yeah, and we're like, wow, this is
bad.
This is bad, and.
Maybe I could use your help.
And so we did our research and found out who the director was and if he had other titles available. And to our luck, he did.
He had many other titles, and so we watched Fist of the Vampire after that.
And then he uses the same people, so over time we even got to know his crew.
Yeah, he has like Ed Wood or like early John Waters. He has his stable of actors that he always uses. But what is the charm of these Lenka Basinski movies?
There's so many charms.
I'm going to put this out there. Not only are his movies utterly incompetent, he doesn't seem to get any better.
No,
He gets worse in different ways.
That's the most fascinating part, yeah.
Like Swamp Zombies, his first one, it's like an origin tale of bad. Swamp Zombies starts off semi-competent. And
it falls apart as the movie goes
steadily,
along.
by the end of the movie, it turns into a Lenka Basinski movie. Where it's... There's a normal zombie movie, and then at the end they're doing their MMA martial arts with guys in suits.
Well, let's who is Lenka Basinski?
I would love to know.
He might be a guy that works at PetSmart. According to the last film, we don't know much about Lenka Basinski.
But what are the things you see in his movies? What are his interests?
Okay, Lenka Basinski is a guy who's into martial arts, who thought he could make a movie at one point, and did make a movie which had people kicking and punching each other and had awkward boobs and nudity in it. And then he got distribution for his film because it was called, Boobs in the Woods or whatever. And then he continued to make films. And one after the other, they're just amazing, amazing train wrecks.
But there's an evolution too, which is the amazing thing. Like Fist of the Vampires, when he starts doing like the green screen, everything's green screen, and then the one after that, that's when you get like the bullets, the CGI.
Oh, the plug-in blood
effects.
Yeah.
And then you get to Skull Forest, and then he's doing this Dutch angle shaky cam thing.
Yeah.
He seems to see things in movies and try to recreate them to disastrous
without having any knowledge or even a want to gain knowledge of the meaning of like the Dutch angle in Skull Forest. Every single shot was off kilter.
Yeah.
So off kilter that at one point we got used to it. And it's just like, I think we all just started leaning.
Just lean a little bit, and then it looks okay.
Dude, what the fuck?
Here's what I ask. Here's the bare minimum of someone who is holding a camera. The thing that you want the audience to pay attention to has to be in focus. That's it, like bare minimum.
Why would they have invented autofocus if they don't expect you to use it?
Never.
Come on.
Pull that trigger. Ever.
Well, things are in focus, they just happen to be in the background.
here's what I want everyone here and out there to take home. Lenka Basinski gets his movies distributed.
Yeah.
You can do anything, kids.
Are you having some problems here? Follow me. The boss would like to have a word.
Oh,
So I guess
man.
all this brings us to Skull Forest now.
Wait, can we just hear that theme song one more time? It's the curse of the world.
I wish every movie that he did had that theme.
It's a departure from his previous work, but it's still terrible.
Oh, no one's saying, yeah, it's a departure in the sense that he doesn't have badass rock music, but it's still terrible.
Well,
It's
in
like,
new and interesting ways, accompanying the old ways.
Let's recap the story to Skull Forest because we haven't done that yet. Which is there's the lady with the lip ring. That's our heroine.
That's dirty butt mom.
Oh, dirty butt mom.
Dirty butt mom. It comes home from work, and she has 3 kids. And
She has 2 kids, although later she says she has 3.
No, she has 3, and she says she has 2.
Working full time, having 2 kids, really burns through your time, you know.
Is that what happened?
Yeah.
She forgets how many children she's had, and also we do.
Okay.
But she comes home, and it's the most bizarrely shot, quick scene with like all these weird angles, and Lenka Basinski's grandma reads the lines and says, it's been 2 years since David died, which presumably was her husband.
It's been 2 years since David died. You barely left the house. It's time for you to go out and get your life.
And you haven't gone out to have fun. Go have fun. And she goes, okay, I'm going now, and leaves. And then she calls up a retired porn actress,
Who has a badge.
Who has a badge, who is now a bounty hunter.
I've needed a vacation forever. Less time on the road and in the car, more time out there, the better.
We can presume that the camping trip was pre-planned. I think.
It wasn't a spur-of-the-moment thing. They were planning it anyway.
They're like a ladies' night out.
A ladies' weekend together to bond and whatever.
Yeah, and while they're in the woods, we set up another story, which is connected, of course, a Hunger Games-esque feel to it, which is rich people get at a convention in a local banquet hall. And an elderly gentleman, presumably Lenka Basinski's grandfather, reads off everyone's names who's going to go on a hunt to kill one guy.
Yes.
Right?
Possibly.
And he's being hunted by 16 people. And he runs into the 4 women, and they think he's a bad guy, of course, because he can't speak English. And then after that, the people say, let's hunt these moms.
Although they're all terrible at it.
They keep missing.
They keep missing.
Whatever happened to that man? Let's go!
There's fighting, there's shooting, there's action, there's excitement, there's shaky cam, rinse, repeat. It's incredibly boring, but you're constantly wondering why he won't just step a few feet away from his actors.
Wouldn't that be great?
Yeah.
Look at that. We can all agree to 50.
Look at how wide that shot is.
Yeah,
Great.
Somebody else was shooting it
Someone else
because
was-
he's
Oh,
on
yeah.
camera.
That's a very good point.
Yes.
Len's in the scene, he can't shoot it.
Someone
so-
was like, wait, this is wrong.
Yeah, this scene is not Dutch angle, and it's wide enough where you can see more than one person.
Close-ups are a really important part of storytelling. The actor gets a chance to shine. It adds a sense of us getting closer to the character, and they're really great for using in little parts of scenes.
Yeah, that's a good point to bring up, is that there's a language, and this is shove the camera in everyone's face and shake it all the time.
Because that means intense.
Yeah, because there is a moment in the movie which has a bad special effect. There's 2 characters that get shot. Basically, man who can sort of read, who's pretending or is a park ranger, decides to kill them execution style really quickly. Yeah. And it's done in blah, 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 and really, yeah, you could have taken the scene back, got really wide, and done an execution style thing. Like, you could have shot it completely differently to have a certain emotional impact. Every single scene, regardless of what it is, whether or not it's mom coming home with groceries and kids to violent execution, everything is shot exactly the same way, which is close-up shaking.
You guys ready?
Oh my god, what the fuck? This is so bizarre.
Let's talk about the black frame.
Okay, well, the black frames are the result of someone editing this movie very quickly and not paying attention to what they're doing. Because you should not have black frames in a movie ever.
Is that a frame of black?
Yeah, it was.
Was it? I missed it.
Yeah.
Well, and technically that happens. You know, he's probably using a digital editor, and you have your little clips in your digital editor.
You drop your shot down, and if it's
And
not lined up right...
if they don't touch, if your clips don't touch, you see whatever's underneath it, and if nothing's underneath it, you see black.
This is important, Len. Pay attention here.
It's something that happens a lot while editing, is these little black spaces if something doesn't. But then usually, I don't know about you guys, but usually after I edit something...
You watch it again?
Well, watch it a couple times.
Yeah.
Len used a lot of stock elements.
Oh yeah, there's stock footage in this movie.
Which is fine, perfectly acceptable. A lot of people use stock elements like that. One of the stock elements he used was a moon. Slowly,
yes.
The moon slowly rising. The only problem was it was a different size or a different aspect ratio to his editing timeline.
Yeah.
And so there are little black bars on the top and bottom. Usually, you just take that image and stretch it out so it fits your timeline.
That sounds like a lot of work.
It's really not, in fact. You just change one number.
That sounds like a lot of work.
No, you click one number and have to type it a little bit bigger.
If you're gonna use stock footage, put it in the right aspect ratio. Oh yeah.
But also, another question is, what does aspect ratio mean? He probably didn't notice it on his monitor.
That's true. It probably blended in.
Okay, so the proper order would be Swamp Zombies, Curse of the Wolf, Fist of the Vampire, Warriors of the Apocalypse, Wendigo,
Bound by Blood.
Skull Forest, and then the upcoming Ninja movie, which is called, what is it again?
Ninja Prophecy of Death.
Ninja Prophecy of Death. All right, so where does Skull Forest rank?
It's not as bad as Wendigo.
How do you rank these, though?
Enjoyments for whatever reason.
Well, the enjoyment, number one, Curse of the Wolf.
Yeah. I think just for nostalgia's sake, if nothing else at this point.
Is Curse of the Wolf the scene where man who can sort of read goes through that apartment?
Man who can sort of read is not in that one. That's
No,
Fist of the Vampire.
that's Fist of the Vampire.
Fist of the Vampire, yeah.
That was pretty good.
That one's pretty good. That's probably my favorite.
Fist of the Vampire features many scenes that are shot in seemingly normal locations, like apartment buildings, that are somehow green screened.
I think that Skull Forest is probably in my top 3.
Yeah, I would say
Really?
so.
Yeah, it's up there. It's really weird with the close-ups and the shaking.
Yeah.
It was sort of nauseating to watch.
Oh, sure, but
all of his movies are in
that's
different
what
ways.
makes a Lenka Basinski movie.
Yeah.
You rank them by how nauseous they make you.
I have to go, I mean, Curse of the Wolf is a classic. Fist of the Vampire also, you know. And then Warriors of the Apocalypse.
That's
just
good.
the overuse of bad computer graphics makes it hysterical on its own.
Yeah.
And then Wendigo, not so much.
That's bottom. That's dead last.
That was like,
That's what they call minor Lenka Basinski.
But I need to know more here. What's his condition? What meds? Psychiatric meds? What's his story?
Well, we can all agree that Lenka Basinski is an astounding and amazing filmmaker. Does he and his film Skull Forest make the best of the worst?
If we're going by most genuinely entertaining, I'm going to go with Trick or Treat.
Oh.
That was the one that was the least, because we always say best, most entertaining for whatever reason. Right. And Trick or Treat was that for me. Skull Forest has its own charm because it's Lenka Basinski and we all love Len. But I really liked Trick or Treat, and I will probably watch that again in future Halloween seasons.
Well, Night Beast is terrible. So that, in my opinion, that gets the axe.
Yes, I agree.
That's dead last.
Yeah.
What's your vote for best of the
Oh, God.
worst?
Well, Trick or Treat, okay? The first half is really good. but the second half it was really bad.
But it's not painful.
But it's not entertaining bad at all. It's just, I'm watching now. This used to be good. Do you remember when this was good? Oh, a car drove off the bridge. It's over now. But Skull Forest, I was entertained the whole way through.
Okay.
So I'm going Skull Forest.
Trick or Treat was really charming, and I agree. I want to watch Trick or Treat again. But there were too many moments where I was passively just sitting and watching. Whereas anytime you watch a Lenka Basinski movie,
You're like,
you are struggling with every fiber of your brain to understand what is happening in a bewildering fashion that cannot be matched by any other filmmaker. Skull Forest is the best of the worst. Absolutely.
The one that's getting the axe, in my opinion, is Night Beast. Much respect to Don Dohler, but really, like...
It was not his A game tonight.
It was not his A game, and really, I think he had a special moment when he made Galaxy Invader, and it was like that perfect level of incompetency meets brilliance. But generally, Don Dohler is not a good filmmaker, and this was a prime example of that. Not a fun movie to watch. For me, Skull Forest is my vote for best of the worst tonight. And I think, Jay, you're the only one to dissent on this.
Yeah.
But you will probably agree with us that Night Beast.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Night Beast should get the axe, yeah.
Night Beast, prepare to say goodnight. Beast.
What?
Well, since Rich is the birthday boy, instead of cutting the cake today, he'll be cutting the tape. Night Beast. With a saw.
Here we go.
Are you ready, Rich?
I'm ready. This is going to be Night Beast's last birthday. Okay. All right. Here we go.
So, Rich, what is it like to spend your birthday cutting into a VHS tape with a saw?
Well, it's kind of like, oh God! Oh God! Oh God! Oh God!
Oh, shit, this is a bad idea.
Oh God! Get it! It's on the ground.
It's on the ground there.
I'll hover.
Should I call 911?
No, just get the car. Get some ice.
Just lost a lot of blood.
Is it